Hi, this is Dale, the mower expert at Power Equipment Direct. I'd like to talk to you today about correctly using your zero-turn mower. So let's get started. So when you receive your Z-turn or your tractor, both should be shipped with oil in them already, but you may want to make sure you check it and make sure it's at the correct level. It should be at the full mark. Gasoline, you want to make sure you use fresh gas. Don't ever put old gas in a brand new piece of equipment. You should use gas that's at least 87 octane, 89 is preferred. Use gas that is no more than 10% ethanol and is no older than 30 days. Once gasoline gets over 30 days, it begins to deteriorate. You want to take that gas, put it in your car because your car is fuel injected. It won't know the difference, plus you're mixing it with a larger amount of fuel. And go get a different can of fresh gas for your mower. Always want to make sure you always try and buy what you're going to use in 30 days. You have two battery connections here. This battery is going to have to be connected. It's not connected when it's shipped. So you need to put the negative on the negative post and the positive on the positive post. The seat switch here is going to be disconnected. What the switch does is it's a presence switch. So you have to be sitting on the seat. It has to sense your weight for the mower to start and run. Should you fall off the mower, it would cut the motor and the mower would stop. But this is disconnected when you get it, so you have to make sure that you plug this in and lock it into place. So once you receive your mower and you get it off the skid, you've checked the oil, you've put in fresh gas, you're going to want to make sure that you go around behind. There are two lockouts for the transmissions. You want to make sure those are both engaged so the transmissions work. What you have here, these are your transmission lockouts. Once they're engaged like this, your transmission is in gear. When you move your lap bars, the mower is going to go. If you ever have to push this, pull this out and lock it in that position. There's one for this side, there's also one for the right tire. So this is the release for the right tire, pulling it like this. Now that disengages the transmission. Once these are both disengaged, you can push the mower. Once you get the mower where you want to drive it again, you need to release these by lifting these up and letting them fall back into place. So this particular mower has a handle for the height adjustment. 6 is the highest setting, 1 is the lowest setting. First time you want to use it, you want to be like in the 4 to 6 range. Make sure you don't cut too short, and you can adjust it from there. So you could either have a hand control that adjusts it, or you could have a foot pedal that adjusts the deck height. These are anti-scalp wheels on the deck. By loosening this nut, it's adjustable. There's different holes you can set it in, and that sets your height. This will only allow the deck to go down so far. So if you're on relatively flat property, these really don't come into play. If you're cutting on a lot of hills or where there's a lot of dips or uneven, you might want to lower these if you find there's areas where the deck is actually scalping the grass. To start your mower, you're going to want to step onto the mower and sit. Your battery should already be connected. Your seat switch should already be connected. Make sure the lap bars are both out in the park position, even slightly ajar. The key will not turn. So they have to be fully out in the park position. Once the mower is started, you can move them in and then forward or backwards or however which way direction you want to go. This is the choke control. If the engine's cold, you're going to want to pull that up and set the choke. Once the engine starts, you're going to want to push the choke back down and let the engine warm up. This is your throttle control, low speed, high speed. You want to make sure the throttle control is either in fully high or at least 3/4 speed when starting. This is your blade switch. Pulling up engages the blade. The mower will not start if this switch is up, so you want to make sure that's in the down position. This is your starting key, your lights, your accessories, your start. Once the motor starts, you want to release this, it'll move to the run position. This is off, accessories, run, start. When all that's done, you're going to want to turn the key and start the mower. So let's talk about driving your Z-turn. Think of it like you're pushing a shopping cart. If you want to go forward, you push both handles forward equally. If you want to go backwards, you pull both handles back equally. If you want to turn to the left, you're going to apply extra pressure to the right-hand controller. If you want to turn to the right, you're going to push extra pressure on the left-hand controller, just like the corners of the shopping cart. When you want to make a 90-degree turn, if you want to go to the left 90 degrees, you would put forward pressure on the right-hand controller and backward pressure on the left-hand controller. If you want to make a 90-degree turn to the right, you would do the opposite. When you want to stop, both go back to the middle position. When you want to park and you're done, you want to take both and push both out to the park position. You saw when you're trying to mower on the hill that the mower wants to kind of nosedive down the hill. The reason being is that they have caster wheels. There's no steering. All they do is follow along when the mower's going. If you're going to do a lot of hill cutting with a Z-turn, you're going to want a Z-turn that has front wheel steering. We'll show you that later on, and we'll see you next video.